Since coming onto the scene, Tesla has completely turned the auto market on its head. Starting with their first vehicle, they have defied expectations to produce products that strove to be different. While some of their choices can rub people the wrong way, it is the same commitment to innovation that has made them so popular and successful. Over the last few years, they have diversified from being just an electric vehicle manufacturer into a leading tech company that makes robots, stationary batteries, self-driving software, and even general AI. The huge advancements that Tesla makes have their fans' collective imagination ablaze, leading many to spend a lot of time speculating on the kinds of products that they are working on behind the scenes. Some of these ideas are rooted in reality in some ways, and others can be pretty out there or downright impossible. Today we're going to look at some of the most common Tesla rumors to discuss which ones are plausible and which ones aren't going to happen. There's a lot to break down, so with that in mind, let's get into it. In addition to all of their known upcoming products, many have speculated for a while now that Tesla is working on producing a van. Then, at Tesla's Robotaxi event, they showed us what they referred to as the Robovan or Robovan. However, some still wonder if there's another option on the table. During their Q2 shareholder meeting, they showed off a graphic which depicted their current product lineup with a few future vehicles under wraps. One of these is likely the Robotaxi, and the other the first of their upcoming more affordable lineup, but that left one undiscussed vehicle on the table. They clearly didn't just use a placeholder graphic in its place, and its boxy appearance led many to believe it could be a sign that Tesla is working on making a van. Tesla has actually discussed making a van in the past, whether it be for personal transportation, commercial operation, or both. At that Robotaxi event, it seemed that we did see what that uncovered van would be. At the same time, though, vans have actually been a part of Tesla's plans for quite a while now. In their Master Plan Part 2, released all the way back in 2016, the company talked about developing high passenger density urban transport, and even floated the idea of making autonomous buses. Given the company's current focus on their Robotaxi, mass public transportation options like these seem like less of a focus, but the van seemingly isn't completely on ice. In their Master Plan Part 3, they specifically mentioned that a bus and commercial/passenger van are still TBD. A van would be a really exciting option for both commercial deliveries and just moving a lot of passengers around in a more economical and environmentally friendly way. At Tesla's We Robot event, after showing off their Robotaxi, they brought out the surprise of the night, their Robovan. This was very much inspired by Art Deco design and shows their vision of what comes beyond a small two-seater autonomous cab. As unveiled, this seats 14 people and would be useful for cities, events, and more where mass transportation is necessary. The benefit there as well is that it's fully autonomous. While this design was very cool, it was disappointing to many since it's clearly a future vision and not something the average person would own since it seats 14. If you owned it personally, it really would be more along the lines of a motorhome. So many still want to see what a normal, regular-sized van from Tesla would be that is drivable. Some have speculated, or perhaps just hoped, that Tesla was working on a specifically designed motorhome. Instead of a van, which may be based on the Cybertruck's platform, this would hypothetically be a completely electric mobile home base that combines the luxury and advanced technology of a Tesla vehicle with the comfort of a motorhome. A motorhome would definitely appeal to a certain subset of customers, but it would require a lot of special work and attention in order to be truly viable. Current electric campers on the market have very short ranges, and that would need to be worked on before a vehicle like this ever really took off. Some have speculated that a motorhome could share parts with some of Tesla's other large vehicles, like the Cybertruck or even the Tesla Semi. The Semi is currently their longest range vehicle, equipped with a 900 kilowatt-hour battery. A large battery pack like that would likely be necessary for the kinds of long road trips that people tend to make in campers. You could drive for the whole day and then stop to charge overnight, or along the way, or once you reach your destination. However, even with a battery pack half that size, they probably could get away with it since you won't be towing what the Semi is designed to tow. Obviously, there's still a lot of hope and speculation going into the future here, but for now it seems that the Robovan is what Tesla envisions for the future. If you think about a future where this is achieved, an autonomous motorhome is a pretty incredible future vehicle, but many still want to see something come earlier than that. Another Tesla product that the company has discussed before, but doesn't seem to have made much progress on, is in the world of HVAC. Tesla isn't a stranger to the world of both home appliance tech as well as air conditioning systems in general. On the home side, they already make a number of large appliances to keep a house running, like their solar panels and Powerwall energy storage systems. At the same time, they also internally design and build all of the HVAC and HEPA air filter systems for their vehicles. Their vehicles have great air conditioning, which can quickly and effectively heat and cool your car, while also simultaneously filtering out any pollution or contaminants from outside. So as to not impact range too much, these systems are designed to be as energy efficient as possible, which makes them appealing for homes as well. Many years ago, Elon Musk had actually floated the idea of taking their HVAC technology and scaling it up for home-level use. In 2020, he initially said it more so in passing, saying, "Home HVAC that is super energy efficient, quiet, and purifies the air would be great. We developed it for the car, but it can be scaled up for home use." We didn't hear much about it for a few years, but in 2022, he brought it up again, saying, "It's on the future product list, especially important in places like Austin, which has next-level amounts of pollen in the air." Current air conditioning systems use a ton of energy to operate, so it would be great if a new competitor came along to increase efficiency in the space. A Tesla HVAC system could tie flawlessly into their existing home energy products. Customers could generate their own power using Tesla Solar, and then their Powerwall systems could efficiently store and distribute that power to the AC during peak hours. Since air conditioning is so energy intensive, having a smarter system to manage all of those component parts could lead to a huge boost in efficiency. In addition, their HEPA filtration systems would be great for a ton of reasons, like reducing allergens, preventing illnesses, and just generally breathing cleaner air in your home. This is another product that Tesla has been talking about for years, but doesn't seem like one that's on the imminent horizon. We haven't heard any official word from Elon or the company on this for a while, so it seems pretty far on the back burner, if even something that they are still actively pursuing. At the moment, it doesn't completely seem to align with their big picture goals as a company, as they seem to be really focused all in on AI and autonomy at the moment. However, I do think this is probably one of the more likely rumored products that we will discuss today, and I can imagine that Tesla might eventually revisit this idea, even if it is a ways away. While entering the world of HVAC is a pretty reasonable path forward for the company, they definitely have entertained plenty of products that are much less conventional, to say the least. Elon Musk undoubtedly has a lot of big ideas. Sometimes those ideas are quite a bit bigger than is really practical for the company to consider pursuing. Take, for example, the briefly discussed Tesla plane. Back in 2019, Elon told the world that Tesla had created a design for a special kind of fully electric aircraft. This vehicle was designed for complete vertical takeoff and landing, and they claimed was already viable, save for one key element. At the time, he claimed that electric motors were already advanced and powerful enough to support electric airplanes, but that battery technology hadn't quite caught up to support it. In a response on X, then Twitter, Elon said that they were, quote, "still a bit too limited on range. That will change in coming years as battery energy density improves." While batteries haven't quite reached a point where electric planes are fully feasible, the idea is not entirely without merit, as it could offer certain benefits. Much like with gas-powered cars, there will eventually reach a tipping point where electric motors and batteries will beat internal combustion in terms of pure efficiency. As it stands right now, batteries just do not store power at the same density as current jet fuels. Quote, "Jet A, kerosene, has much higher energy density than lithium ion, but electric motors weigh much less and convert stored energy to motion better than combustion engines." At the time, Elon estimated that batteries would have to reach an energy density of 400 watt-hours per kilogram of weight before making commercial electric airplanes was really viable. Batteries of the day were topping out at around 300 watt-hours per kilogram for comparison. In the years since, battery technology has been maturing extremely rapidly, and it could theoretically become more viable in the near future. Scientists are always working on solid-state batteries, for example, which will eventually be able to offer big improvements in terms of battery weight, size, and overall density. We can't say for certain whether that density estimate is truly the threshold for electric jet viability, but current advancements are bringing us closer to that reality. Even if an electric plane was a physical possibility, how realistic, though, is it to expect Tesla to make one? Expanding into this industry would require untold levels of investment. From R&D to testing to construction and assembly, building up the infrastructure to start producing planes at all, let alone at scale, would be extremely daunting. Tesla has already had trouble over the years ramping up production of things like the semi-truck program, which definitely has a lot more in common with their current products than a hypothetical airplane. Starting production of electric jets would essentially require starting an entirely new company's worth of investment in order to get going. Like some of these other products, we haven't heard any word from Tesla on this concept in a very long time. As such, we can't really tell how much this jet is in an actual plan, or if it was simply a brief fantasy from Elon. As it stands right now, it does seem to be a bit more like the latter than the former, but you never know. Soon we might all be riding around in Tesla-branded jets, or jets designed by a Tesla sub-brand. Another far-out vehicle design that Tesla has reportedly floated, pardon the pun, over the years, is the idea of making a boat. Of everything that we have discussed so far today, this one is perhaps the least grounded in reality for Tesla to pursue directly. With that being said, the company has had some interest in aquatic travel over the years. At several points during its development cycle, Elon promised that the Cybertruck would be waterproof enough to briefly serve as a boat in certain circumstances. He claimed that it would be able to cross rivers, lakes, and quote, even seas that aren't too choppy. That claim always seemed very unlikely, and in the end it didn't really pan out to work like that. At the moment, the Cybertruck only has a built-in wade mode, which raises the ride height and pressurizes the battery so you can drive through standing water, a far cry away from acting as a boat. Over the years, there have been several rumors that Tesla was working on a boat, but nothing particularly substantial. In 2023, a lot of people were very excited when some early trademark listings appeared, which seemingly indicated that Tesla was looking to expand into, quote, not-for-land vehicles like airplanes and even boats. The application got a lot of people very excited, as this seemed like a bigger step than anything that the company had taken before. Ultimately, after some quick digging, it turned out that this filing was actually made by a Tesla fan and had nothing to do with the actual company itself. Many people were disappointed by that news, but in the end, it can't be too surprising to see. Much like with airplanes, pivoting into electric boats would be a huge investment for the company, with probably even less reward. Electric boats would definitely be a niche market for the company and would require some big design and production swings. While many of the products we've talked about today have at least been partially discussed by the company, this one has never really been properly considered, as far as we know. With that being said, the idea of an electric boat isn't entirely unfounded, and there is a bit of a loose Tesla connection there. Earlier this year, a new startup called Blue Innovations Group officially rolled out the first model of their new electric overnight boat. This 30-foot boat features a large battery capacity of over 221 kilowatt-hours of power, much larger than the average EV battery by necessity. With that battery, it can provide about 6 to 8 hours worth of energy. The Tesla connection here is that the company was founded by the automaker's former head of global manufacturing from 2011 to 2017. While Tesla was not involved specifically in this project, partnerships with other companies could be a path forward if they ever choose to pursue it. Rather than building electric boats, jets, or otherwise, they could license out their innovative motor or battery designs to companies that specialize in those areas. In large part, Tesla has avoided these kinds of vehicles because they are just too niche. Tesla's primary goal over the years has been to increase their lineup of more affordable vehicles to make full electrification accessible to more and more customers. One such upcoming EV segment there that we don't talk much about on this channel is the fully electric motorcycle. While motorcycles seem significantly outnumbered here in the US, their sales globally are actually pretty comparable to the entire auto market. If we look back on the data from 2021, motorcycles sold an estimated 58.6 million units around the world, with electric units expected to boost sales even further. For comparison, in the same year, the auto industry sold 66.7 million, a definite lead but not as big as you may expect. Motorcycles are an increasingly popular option around the world, with some markets even starting to prefer them. Bikes can be made cheaper than their car counterparts, and while they often offer shorter ranges, they're often a lot more fuel efficient due to their size and decreased weight. There have been a slew of companies entering their own electric motorcycles to the market, with some of the big names including Zero, Harley-Davidson, and Lightning. Some of these bikes have starting prices around $15,000, which of course is much more affordable than the average electric car, and they offer ranges well over 150 miles in a small package. For many years, the idea of a Tesla motorcycle felt like a great fit for the company. It seems to align with their stated goal of revolutionizing transportation by offering affordable and sustainable options. In addition, motorcycles definitely have a certain cool factor that really fits the look and feel of Tesla as a company. Plenty of excited fans have shared renders over the years of what a theoretical Tesla motorcycle, or Model M, might have looked like, and they all definitely look very cool. Additionally, motorcycles have some of the fastest acceleration times of any vehicle on the market right now, with the electric Lightning LS218 having a 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds. Speed enthusiasts were very enamored with the idea of Tesla bringing their innovative motor designs and advanced battery tech to the market to create a theoretical plaid motorcycle that could break records for speed and range. While this option would probably be quite popular for the company, Elon Musk definitely has his reasons for not wanting to pursue electric motorcycles. Tesla is one of the most safety-conscious car companies on the market right now, and they spend a lot of time and resources making their cars the safest around. Their cars are frequently ranked extremely well on the tests performed by the world's vehicle safety authorities. They are always working to improve them as well, as we can see with the many structural improvements made on the recent refresh of the Model 3 just for safety. While bikes do offer a lot of benefits in terms of performance and efficiency, put simply, Elon doesn't believe that they are safe enough for the company to pursue. And in fact, he has some personal experience to back that up. Elon has talked a bit about how when he was a kid, he used to love riding dirt bikes as a hobby. When he was 17, however, he almost was involved in what could have been a fatal collision with a much larger truck. He has sworn them off since, and promised that Tesla was never going to make one. Ultimately, this is a fair point, and he definitely has good justification for feeling that way. According to J.D. Power, motorcycle accidents are approximately 30 times more likely to be fatal than a typical car accident, which is undoubtedly something that Tesla wants to stay away from. Still, many people held onto hope for a while that a Tesla bike would be coming that could leverage all of their motor and battery tech to revolutionize the industry like they have done with cars. EV bikes are still pretty niche, and their expertise would do a lot to push the industry ahead, but it seems like we can definitely cross that one off of the product list. One of the most striking features of any Tesla vehicle is the large center screen that contains most of the major controls and infotainment of the entire vehicle. While plenty of automakers have been following this trend by shifting controls to the screen, few have had an implementation as seamless and effective as Tesla. Their UI is sleek and efficient, and they are constantly rolling out software updates that make the experience even better. While some people were disappointed that Tesla purposely did not include Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, the native digital experience is good enough that for most customers, they don't mind. Given the company's great software and hardware implementation, many have speculated and hoped that the company may one day produce their own smartphone. In 2022, shortly after Elon's acquisition of Twitter, there was some speculation that Apple and Google might remove the app from their respective app stores. Rumors further speculated that in response, Elon might push one of his companies to produce a new smartphone competitor. Elon responded to these rumors by saying, "I certainly hope it does not come to that, but yes, if there is no other choice, I will make an alternative phone." Earlier this year, after it was announced that Apple and OpenAI were partnering to put ChatGPT into iPhones, Elon said that he might push to produce a phone that natively runs X's Grok AI system. These claims are pretty nebulous at best. Elon never said that he will make a phone, just that if a series of different situations were to occur, they might make a phone. Rumors all over the place have also swirled about a Tesla phone for a very long time. There are tons of videos on YouTube with millions of views touting a new Tesla phone coming soon. There have also been plenty of articles and plenty of reasons for people to think Tesla might make a phone. At the same time, though, Elon has made some statements that seem to clarify they will never make a phone. Alongside Tesla and his many other business ventures, Elon is also the founder and CEO of Neuralink, a prosthetics company that seeks to integrate computer chips into our brains as a way of easing disabilities and to enhance the way we interact with technology. Back in 2020, Elon specifically denied a rumor that Tesla was developing a smartphone and smartwatch, as he felt that it didn't align with the actual future of the industry. He said, quote, "Smartwatches and phones are yesterday's technology. Neuralinks are the future." Fascinatingly, Elon's stance on smartphones seems to have actually softened over the years, as opposed to solidifying as Neuralink advances. Perhaps this is due to the slower progress of these brain implant devices, or maybe he sees that there is still a very large market for physical devices like phones. This is another product that, given how much Elon has talked about it over the years, could be on the docket for Tesla, but probably not anytime soon. I would probably wager that a smartphone competitor would be more likely to emerge from one of Elon Musk's other companies than it would from Tesla. A Tesla phone is plausible, but like many of these products, not likely to come in the near future. Returning to vehicles, many have had a lot of pie-in-the-sky solutions for how manufacturers might be able to handle the problems of charging and range anxiety. A natural-sounding solution for many is to implement solar panels into the design of the vehicle itself. That would theoretically allow for a car to be completely energy independent, charging while driving to extend your range, or while parked to maximize your battery. It's a great idea in theory, and plenty of startups have experimented with making this idea a reality, with varying degrees of viability and success. Aptera is an independent startup that is focused on making a solar-powered EV that they claim will, quote, require no charging for most daily use. Their prototype has an interesting teardrop design for maximum aerodynamics and can theoretically travel up to 1,000 miles on a single charge. The built-in solar panels will allow for up to 40 miles worth of driving to be added every day, which will probably cover most people's daily driving needs. This car is far away from entering proper production, and it remains to be seen whether its unique design will be appealing or even functional enough to succeed as a product. However, it is a sign that companies are looking at this technology as a real possibility going forward. Dart Solar is another startup that aims to convert existing Tesla vehicles into vehicles that are fully energy independent. Their design, by virtue of being aftermarket, is a lot less graceful than integrated designs, but they claim it can still provide great results. The panels start in a compact stack that rests neatly on top of the car when in motion to minimize the effects of drag on the vehicle. Then, when the vehicle is parked, the panels will unfurl to create a large flat plane to maximize surface area for charging. Their Beta 2 prototype isn't the best looking product on the market, but their upcoming Beta 3 is looking to be a lot sleeker by comparison. Even in this rudimentary form, they claim that these panels can add 20 to 40 miles of charge per day, and that they will pay for themselves in 2 to 3 years. While this aftermarket solution probably won't be extremely popular, it further proves that solutions like this are potentially a viable idea, if given more time to develop. So naturally, people wondered whether Tesla might consider implementing solar panels directly into their vehicles, whether directly built into the car or as an aftermarket accessory. Like with many of the products talked about today, Elon Musk has specifically talked about the Cybertruck including solar panels. This can definitely be counted on the list of things, like the Cybertruck being able to be turned into an entire boat. However, they have definitely considered it. At other times, Elon has said it wasn't viable, though. Either way, they are definitely in a unique position to do this effectively. Tesla already manufactures their own solar panels for home installations, and they are very effective options. Their traditional solar cells are very efficient, and while of course they wouldn't put their solar roof tiles onto a car, they have developed technology that makes those tiles extremely tough and weather resistant. Cars are really put through the ringer in daily operation, and you would need to have panels that are strong in order to stay truly functional. As it stands right now, it seems very unlikely that Tesla goes into solar charging anytime soon. The company has almost single-handedly built up the majority of the US's fast charging infrastructure, and they seem committed to electrification through that channel. When the currently available charging infrastructure is already so robust and growing constantly, built-in solar panels seem very impractical by comparison. I could see this being a technology for the future, and one that Tesla might pursue as it starts to mature, but for now I think we'll see Tesla stick with their superchargers. Solar also might make a lot of sense on future vehicles that are that much more efficient, offering more than 40 miles of range on a full day's charge. The Robotaxi is Tesla's upcoming autonomous rideshare vehicle that will pick up and drop off passengers without any input from a human driver. Not having a driver, however, does mean that there isn't anybody inside to plug in or charge the car. Having built-in solar panels here could be a great opportunity to keep the car charged and maximize its time spent on the road. It can add range to the vehicle while driving, and if the battery gets too low, it can simply park somewhere sunny and build a charge back up. Or it could park on a wireless charging pad while receiving even more from the sun. Making these cars as self-sufficient as possible will be a key factor in their success, and we'll have to see whether a feature like this ever appears on one of these vehicles. Pretty much every fake or questionable product that we have discussed today has only somewhat been grounded in reality. Whether they were simply based on an offhanded comment by their CEO, or were pure fan speculation based on things that Tesla might do at some point, nothing that we talked about today has ever been officially confirmed by the company. That is, with the exception of this one Tesla product that was actually unveiled many years ago and seems to be no closer to release than when it was announced. Tesla made a name for themselves initially when they released their first vehicle, the electric sports car known as the Roadster. Back in 2017, Tesla officially announced the follow-up to that vehicle, which would be the second generation Roadster. They initially promised it would have a range of 620 miles on a charge, a top speed of 250 miles per hour, and a 0 to 60 in just 1.9 seconds. It was initially promised to cost $250,000 and would begin production starting in late 2019 for delivery in 2020. Over the years, that production timeline has continued to be pushed back, and the number of features that this car supposedly has creeped up. In 2018, Elon promised that the Roadster would feature a special SpaceX performance package, which would use compressed air jets to give the car added thrust and speed. Production was pushed back several times, but during their Q2 2020 earnings call, he promised that initial production was only 12 to 18 months away. In January of 2021, Elon announced that production had once again been delayed, this time until 2022. At the time, he expected a finalized release candidate drivable by that summer for final production to start early the following year. Then in 2023, we heard a very similar story, that engineering was not yet complete and that production would begin hopefully in 2024. Cut to this year, and once again, production has been pushed by another year, and that was followed up by an even bigger claim regarding its performance. This time, Elon said that the new SpaceX collaboration would enable this car, quote, if you could even call it a car, to hit 0 to 60 in less than 1 second, and that was the least interesting part. After all these years, Tesla is still working on this vehicle, but it's very easy to see why people might start to think it's not actually coming. It was announced almost 7 years ago now, and since then, we haven't seen a single drivable prototype, or really gotten any insight into how it's going or what's taking so long. Instead, all we've gotten is a series of pushback deadlines and a series of features that feel a little exaggerated. Production of this car was always going to be very limited and to appeal to the very wealthy, but these delays haven't changed the fact that customers already had to put down a $50,000 deposit for a vehicle with no delivery date in sight. Some had to put the full amount for a special edition as well. For the time being, the Roadster seems to be a project for Tesla to think up any theoretical cool feature that a car might have, and promise that it will have it. Compressed air jet engines? It'll have it. Less than 1 second 0 to 60? Of course. Even the tentative ability to fly in some capacity? If you take Elon's word for it, then yes. I don't believe this car is canceled or not ever going to arrive, but it's undeniably taking them a long time to get this project off the ground. And it's kind of reflective of why a lot of these products will not be coming from Tesla. It just doesn't make sense for them because it's not going to be a big profit driver. I can't say for certain whether this car is going to be arriving next year or the year after, or even before the end of the decade. When this car does arrive though, it also remains to be seen what features it will have and what promises it can deliver on. Whatever this car turns out to be, it will surely be exciting, but only time will tell whether it will be able to live up to the accumulated hype that has built up over the years. Tesla has a reputation unlike pretty much any other company, let alone automaker, that is operating in the market. Their unique products and mission as a company have made them extremely popular and attracted a very dedicated fan base that is deeply interested in what is coming next from the company. For a company that is as secretive as Tesla, that creates a lot of rumor and speculation for what they are working on next. That unfounded rumor cycle isn't necessarily aided by the fact that Tesla themselves are very willing to hype up features and products that are a lot less concrete than what many other companies would be ready to share. One thing is for certain, these rumors wouldn't exist if people weren't excited for the next generation of groundbreaking Tesla products. Everything that Tesla has released thus far has in some way been a revolution for the transportation and home energy sectors. Whatever it is that they release next, it's likely going to continue the same tradition. That's all for today, but in the meantime, if you want to learn how Tesla manages to make $140,000 more per EV than Ford does, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.